Okay, before we get going, has anyone got any questions?
No, all good.
All good?
Yeah, I don't think so. But if I have any, I'll
Yeah,
yeah,
just
bring them.
yeah, cool. Okay, so two new things with inside of ChatGPT. Oh, was someone else? No. Okay. Yeah, two new upgrades. One is deep research. So you can use it within 4.0, and I don't think 4.5. Yeah, you can use it within 4.5. So deep research is new and 4.5 is new. So you're limited on both of these. With deep research, you can only do 10 searches a month. And this is their first agent that they've released. So what will happen is that, for example, let's just say you wanted to work with a new market, but you don't really know anything about them. Let's just pick on solicitors and accountants. You could say, this is the market that I'm used to working with, add some documents. I want to understand what the pain points are for solicitors and accountants. What is some research that you could carry out? You click deep research first, and then you upload the information, and then add in the query. And then what it will do is it will come back and it will ask you a few more questions. You answer them, and then it will take about half an hour. It will go and scour the internet, and then it will come back with a report. It will ask you what type of report you want, and then it will come back with a report with the findings. Let me have a look. Uh, Deep research. I think the second one I did was better actually, but you can see there's quite a lot here. It's given the
What
source.
what did you ask? So what would I use it for instance?
Uh,
Or would I not use it?
I think you would need to, in your own system, ask what you could use it
Yeah.
for. Off the top of my head, I can't actually think
Okay. So I
what you
could
would
bring
use
it
it for.
up.
Yeah.
So who would I use to ask that question?
So I would ask Lucas, in your
Luke.
weekly chat, if you're using Lucas still weekly, I would use it in your weekly chat and just ask the question, um, what are the different ways that I could use ChatGPT deep research?
Okay. I'm not using him in that way at the minute. So, but I still have my chat, so I could still go
Yeah,
back and yeah.
yeah, yeah. Any of the
Okay.
founder agents would be good to ask this question. So even Wendy, Lucas, yeah, they would both be good to ask this question.
Okay.
Especially if you've got an old chat. I've used it for solicitors and accountants, because that I'm going to be doing a webinar for them in a couple of weeks. So I wanted to find out what they struggle with in relation to AI. So Debbie, I
Okay.
was just saying, yeah, about deep research is new to ChatGPT.
Yes, yes, I saw you get all excited about that the other day.
I know you can only have 10 searches, and
Okay,
they are in depth. They take about half an hour to complete each one.
okay.
You'll find that there'll be about 40 different sources of information that it's pulling from. But here's the thing, you know what the internet is like with information. You have to check the
Yeah,
sources if you really want to stand by it and own it.
yeah.
If you just want it as a generalization, which is what I do, um, I don't need to go down the rabbit hole and check out sources and evidence it that way. But if you're doing something more serious and you need to evidence it, you need to check out the sources if they're credible. Because even though
So
it's
when
got sources,
okay, so when you're doing when you're asking it to do deep research, can you give it guides as to who to deep research?
yeah, of course you can.
Okay, so in that case, then you would then have trusted information. That's really good because obviously I use a lot of experts within my field
Yeah,
to back up my stuff, so that's good.
yeah, yeah. It's really good as a starting point, but if you're going to stand by what it says, you need to just you just check
Mm.
that it's right. So that's new, but you can only do 10 searches a month. This will make you laugh.
A month.
Yeah, just a month, 10 searches.
Is that on the paid or the unpaid?
Paid. You can't, I don't think you can
Okay.
do it on the unpaid.
Okay.
Well, ChatGPT have just announced that they're charging about £20,000 a month for the agents it is that they're going to be creating. So
Wow.
yeah, quite significant. I don't know. They're looking to replace people, so
Well, yeah.
I think one agent will do 5 people's jobs.
Wow.
I think that's probably what's going to happen. And then if you think about 20,000, actually, 5 employees is nothing.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
It's
Gosh, that's just wow.
right. Okay, so that's deep research. That's where you find it. 4.5, you'll also find in the chat in the different models. And 4.5, I have to say, the copy it produces is incredible.
Oh, okay. So
It's
cool.
much better, much better. Again, though, you're limited, and I'm not sure what the limit is of how. I'm not sure what the limit is, and I'm not sure how long it kicks you out for. I'm not sure if it's the whole month or if it's like, what we're used to is like a couple of hours normally if you get kicked out of I've never been kicked out of an agent, I don't think. But if I'm just using normal ChatGPT 4.0, I've been blocked like all of us have at some
Mm,
point.
mm.
You've overused your prompts or whatever, then it kicks you down to the next level. So I'm not sure. I'm not sure what the restriction is on that. I haven't figured it out yet, but there is one. But the copy is just so, my God, it's so much better. It's better. But in theory, the agents should be running now on a version of 4.5. So when the system,
Okay.
yeah, so when the system gets updated, the GPTs and agents get updated.
Okay. So
And
I
I
wouldn't need to go to 4.5 and then use my agent that you created for me. I could just continue to use mine.
I would continue using the agent. Yeah.
Yeah.
4 point, yeah, I mean that's what I understand is that it's running in the background of the agents, and I have noticed a difference. I have noticed a difference with them in terms of how they're writing.
Mm.
Yeah, so interesting. This is meant to be again the most intelligent model on the market. But you know how it is. They're always overtaking one another because they're releasing. They're just constantly, it's just relentless. I take no notes. I just take no notice of it. Right. So do you all know about projects?
No. I know
Briefly,
it came, but I've not explored it.
no.
Projects, yeah, projects is quite handy. It's not the same as an agent. So I develop all of my new agents with inside projects. And ultimately, that's not a very good example, actually. Let me find another one. Maybe it's new. So with projects, what you can do is you can upload files. So you've got the basis of information that it can pull from. And
Oh,
then
that's good.
you can add in a master prompt. So I wrote this one to write copy and position me as a thought leader. And then what I can do is I can just drop some copy in. It will restructure it, and then it will write it in line with the documents, in line with thought leadership. Why are all my chat? There should be chats down here. They've all disappeared. That's interesting. I wonder if they've all disappeared because of the upgrade. Because
Mm.
I had quite a few chats here. They're not here anymore.
So if they disappear, then what happens? Because if you haven't got a backup,
Oh, look at that. They've gone as well. Yep, that's gone. That's gone. Oh,
I'm not going to use projects.
no.
But But I also I don't know what's the difference between projects really and using an agent, other
The
than having all of the information
agents, they're far more
document.
intelligent. They're
Yeah,
far
so
more,
I'll just stick with
yeah,
the agents. Yeah.
yeah. I mean, I would. Well, I definitely am now because look, everything's disappeared. Wow.
Mm.
Oh, I had all my stuff about new. Oh, bugger. Anyway. Yeah, so just stick to agents. They're far more intelligent. I haven't lost anything in an agent. Not that I'm aware of anyway. Nothing.
No.
Um, if you haven't done your second quarter plan, you really need to think about doing it because a lot will have changed from this quarter to the next quarter. Pricing, offers, messaging. So you really need to think about updating your second quarter. I've just been doing sprints with the group, so I've just done mine, and it has significantly changed, which is good. Right. So new agents. Right. The customer service agent is just awesome because ultimately what you do is you just type in what it is that you're doing, and then what she would do is she will, because everything's pre-programmed in the background, she would just tell you which is the best agent to use for the job, which is brilliant. So
I've been working with Celeste a good bit.
yeah,
And she just automatically, she recommends and then she automatically pulls the agents in for me. I don't
Yeah.
leave any more.
Yeah.
And I don't even have to ask her to do it. She does it automatically with the people I regularly use.
yeah.
Agents I
Yeah.
regularly use.
Yeah. That's what happened when I wanted my will addendum. Yeah. She was
What I
brilliant.
what I will say is that there is a significant difference between using her and doing the work in her to doing the work in an agent that's been created. So
Okay.
think of the agents that she's pulling in and using, they're a watered down version of the other agent.
Okay, good to know. So you're
Yeah,
better off moving
yeah,
over.
So
you're,
she's like the middleman or
yeah,
middle woman.
yeah,
Yeah,
she's
it's
the
going
middle
through
woman.
her filter as opposed to the agent.
Yeah, she
Okay.
basically, you just want to use her for the process and for the recommendation, rather than if you're doing a meaty piece of work, you want to use the actual agent. So think
Okay, good
of,
to know.
So
yeah,
the agent is recommended, but
yeah,
separately.
I would
Okay.
think
Okay.
think think about. I mean, she'll pull them in, but they're watered
Mhm.
down. They can't use the depth and breadth of what they've been trained on. So
Okay. So they can only use that independently of her.
the full depth and breadth, yeah, yeah,
Yeah. Okay.
yeah. So I always think if you're doing a project, you want to the project lead, like you've got a project lead. So if you're doing a piece of, let's just say you're doing a podcast, you want the podcast agent to take the lead, and then you can pull in the other agents and do a project that way. So that's what I would do. So I've
Right.
with the podcast, I've started with the podcast agent, and then I pulled some other agents in to complete other tasks. So the agent you want to lead with, you open up first, and then you can pull in the other ones, because then I think it's okay. But I wouldn't use her to do that because she's leading, and
Okay.
she's got information about all of them, and all of it is a watered down version of the other agents because she hasn't been trained the same way. She's just been trained to go, this is the best agent to use. She's got a bit of knowledge, but she hasn't got a depth and breadth same as the other ones.
Okay.
Okay, so new agents. We have got quite a few this month. I got a bit carried away.
Yeah.
So Zora is to help people with money mindset, to help clear blocks, to help understand how to price. She's sat up on not sales psychology, actually. She she's been created around the trauma of money, around the blockages, around self-esteem, self-worth. So she's quite emotional. She's not really looking at it from so much as a logical. She's looking at it more from an energetical point of view. So she's really good. So let's just say you were creating a new offer and you weren't sure of the pricing, and you pull her in and you say, Zora, take a look at this. What do you think? She'll have more of an emotional conversation rather than this is what you need to charge. A hard nose, this is what you need to charge. Sort of, she's much more gentle. Much more she's going to be more inquisitive to find out what the issue is behind the money. So quite different.
I think it depends on where you're at. I think having the mix too, because I found having hard facts of you're underpricing, you know what I mean, that brought to me by
Tip.
Yeah, Tip. I think it was Tip, yeah. I think having the mix of the two is really good.
Yeah, I think it is. Yeah, because Tip can say something and you'll be like, "Ooh," and then it's like, "Well, why are you going?" Ooh.
Yeah.
What's behind that? Yeah. What's that? What's that about? This is what she's good for. She's the what's that about? What's going on? Yeah, she's about that. So quite different, very different to Tip. Tip will just give it to you, whereas Zora won't. She's there to explore. So Mia is designed to help you scale. And I created her because I'm looking at scaling now, and I wasn't sure how to do it, which is bizarre because I teach other people how to do it all the time. But for myself, I was like, oh, what do I do? So I created her to give you a step-by-step plan of how to scale, to go right from the basics to the advanced. So she basically, a bit similar to a business coach, but the focus is on scaling to help you grow.
So this is perfect for me then, because I was wondering, I was going to start with Lucas, but I want to really scale the visibility of my card deck because that's become something far greater than I anticipated when I created it. And obviously I got this information. So I was going to speak to Lucas to see, what's the best kind of route, or what things do I need to put in place to kind of really expand the visibility and scale. So would you recommend me using a mix of
Mia and not so much Lucas, but Nova?
Oh, what's
Nova has all of my has all of my theoretical framework for creating offers in it. So I would use a combination of Nova and Mia. I then bring Lucas in.
Yeah, because I was thinking, I need to get them on Amazon. I probably need to start Facebook ads, need to look at probably maybe a lead magnet that connects. So it's all of these bits and pieces of, what I'm not doing, just to show me everything that I'm not doing so that I can really get this legacy out there. Yeah, okay, perfect.
Yeah, so Nova and Mia I would use.
All right, that's exciting.
Yeah. I think she came out last month. I can't remember. I've done so many recently. I'm a bit like,
I know you've done too many. Well, you've not done too many, but it's like there is so many.
Slow down, Wendy.
It's kind of like a bit overwhelming. I'm like, oh my God, I just need to step away. And I'll just use the one.
Yeah, I know what you mean. Maybe I should just release them once a month, but maybe that would be easier.
I think slowing down, because I know for me, from a capacity perspective, I can hold a lot as a manager, but even that was becoming a bit, oh my God, there's too many here.
Well, the thing, just know if they keep dropping in that you just use Celeste and say, yeah,
Yeah.
and then you just say, I'm working on this. Which agent should I use? And then
Yeah.
she will say which are the best ones.
Yeah.
It's really good, really, really good.
Which one? I mean, I could ask Celeste, but just off the top of your head, as a nurturing relationship kind of management membership kind of agent, which one would you recommend for my membership? I almost think I need a membership manager, relationship manager, or community manager in there, and I don't know how to go about doing that. But also, yeah, is there an agent that would kind of suggest some stuff to me?
I think first thing you need is like a little mini plan about,
Right.
what's the purpose of it, and then I would ask Celeste. So
Okay.
just think about what is it that you actually want to achieve? What is it that you want to achieve?
Yeah, I mean,
probably engagement. What are the strategies around that?
yeah.
So I would just have a little bit more of a think about it, and then I would put it into Celeste and ask.
All right.
Because there's quite a few agents that are good at nurturing.
Yeah,
They're much warmer.
Okay.
Yeah. So that's what I would do. Okay.
So would you then use the phrase, obviously, as well as engagement of client, would you then use the phrase, perhaps that you want to nurture your membership group, or your group?
Yeah, because they're different. They're two different things.
Yeah, I know they're two different things, but I'm just saying, are those the phrases you would use when you're asking Celeste?
Oh yeah.
Would you use them as a whole, or would
Nurture.
you use them separately?
It depends what you want to achieve. Because they're two different things. So it depends whatever you want to achieve, you would just use.
Ask it separately.
Well, I think you need to define what you mean by nurture and what you mean by engage.
Well, both of the things go together
things.
in a way, because you want to engage them in a nurturing way as well as sometimes in a bit full-on way.
So you need to ask that question.
Okay.
Because nurture, engage to me mean almost two different. They meet in the middle, but they're two different strategies.
Yeah, and that's the thing, they meet in the middle.
They meet in the middle, but they are, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so just
I
think
hope
about
I got that right, Marina, because I think I'm on your wavelength with that.
Yeah.
Not a
Yeah, no, and I think those two key words, engagement and nurturing, I think that's what I have an idea around engagement, and I have a framework, a plan from when things go out perspective, but it's still very much in the first month. So we're as a collective, we're finding our feet, as me being the membership owner, and then being in the space. So I've said, we're still finding our feet. We're just going through the first month, but I want people to remain engaged, not overwhelmed, but I want them to feel nurtured. It is a training space. So we're just kind of defining what it all looks like at the moment. Yeah, but if there was an agent that would help me just maybe spot any gaps or whatever. I have been using agents to create that, but it's just making sure.
Just putting it into a little plan, I think.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
Not just nothing major, just something that's then work backwards from there.
Yeah. Okay.
Right. So the last agent is Jennifer, which I don't think anyone will need to use. Or maybe, I don't know. Jennifer finds grants and funding.
Oh, I had a little play with her the other day.
Yeah, did you? Yeah. How did you find it?
Actually, she drew me a blank. She found stuff. She found some really good stuff, but they were things that were already out of date. as of end of
Uh,
December and weren't, you know, coming up again for a while.
yeah.
And then it just literally led me into, you know, loans. And that wasn't her that led me into the loans. It was the, you know, the companies that she highlighted that were offering grants and things within my scope.
Right.
And then when you go into the companies, obviously they've got their grants, but they all want you to loan money. They don't want you to
Okay.
grants. So, you know,
Yeah.
the grant dates are out unless you're doing
Oh,
a certain
sneaky.
yeah, and
Sneaky.
then of course under that they'll, but we got loads of loans that we can give you, and you're like, nah, I don't really want
That's not
loans.
quite the
So,
same thing, is it? That's sneaky.
no,
Yeah, I mean, because she's searching the internet, it depends what's online and how they've worded it and what copy's in
exactly,
there.
and of course it's how you ask as well.
Yeah, yeah,
You know,
yeah,
because
for sure.
if you're missing one word or one phrase, you're
Yeah,
going to get something completely different. But it's a bit like searching Google. You don't always know the word or phrase you want to search
no,
for what you're looking for.
yeah,
So it's, you know, it's pot luck. And I think she'll get better the more we become more aware of what we're looking for and the terminology that's used for
yeah,
it.
yeah. I mean, it's a specialist area. It's a specialist
Mm.
field. You know, it's a yeah, it's specialist. So yeah, and it's just taking it from what it's finding online. So some of
Mm.
it will be helpful,
Mm.
some of it won't.
And you
But
have to be really specific. I did say in the United Kingdom,
yeah, it's
because if
even
I had just
trained on
not
the
been
United
that
Kingdom as
specific, I
well.
would have had the whole pile of stuff from the US.
Yeah, I mean, it does, well, anyway, yeah. Yeah, so quite a few agents, but Celeste, use her to find out which one to use, and then always use a lead agent to start the project. That's the best way to do it. So has anyone got any questions? Oh, did I press record? I can't remember.
Yes,
think
when
Oh,
I
I
Yeah.
did.
came in, it was
Oh,
being
good,
Yeah.
recorded.
good, good, good.
If we wanted the
Definitely
chat
trying to-
GPT that you've created for us individually, if we wanted to add a bit more information into the back end, are we able to do that? Are we able to give that to you to do that or not?
It would depend. It depends what it is.
Okay.
It would really depend what it is. Um,
And do you actually create from a paid perspective, can you create AI agents and we pay
yeah,
you?
yeah. So I create AI agents for individuals, but they're quite expensive. They're £488 per agent, unless you buy a
Okay.
bundle. So they're not. Yeah, they're not cheap. Well, you know, if
That's your perspective.
yeah, if yeah, if you're, let's just say someone wanted a social media agent, that's going to cost them 14,000 a year. £500 is nothing.
Yeah.
Yeah, it depends. If you wanted one created, you would have to really use it to get your money's
Yeah.
worth out of it.
Mm. Okay.
Yeah. All good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Any insights, tips, final thoughts?
I've actually been using Debbie while I've been working with clients.
Yeah. Oh
So,
yeah, I remember you saying.
and I found that invaluable. You know, the very first one I did it while I was with him because obviously I'd put the framework in from the summary of the last meeting. I use Fireflies for all my note taking because otherwise I'm writing 8, 10 A4 sheets when I'm with clients, and that's just ridiculous. But the note taker, Fireflies, is just sensational for note taking. And
Yeah.
I get a I get a full note taking summary and I get an audio, plus there are lots of bits. But what I do is I put the full meeting in and I ask for a summary separate. So I do that first. And then I usually do that with Lucas because he's really good at summarizing stuff like that. Then what I do is I pick out all the salient points and I create my script. And then I give all my ideas and all the insights that I've brought from that connection with the client into that script. And I just let Debbie get on with it. And then I tweak. And then I talk to the client and I see how their week has been
Wow,
and
that's
what
crazy.
language is. And as they're doing that, I'm busy plugging all that information into it. And I just ask it to tweak the script accordingly. And then I give it a quick read through. And if I'm happy, I do print it off so that I can have it in front of me because I don't want that covering my client's face on the screen. Want to be looking over there whilst I'm trying to look at my client over there. So I do print it off and use, but it's just brilliant. It's just brilliant. It's taken hours and hours of frustration and stuff out of what I do, which means I can be really engaged with the client in a much deeper way.
Yeah. Yeah, brilliant. Brilliant. Wow. That's really cool. Yeah, nice. Nice just to have that extra resource that you can use like that.
It's powerful. It really is. It's been such a leap up for me to be able to have that support,
Yeah.
which, doing it by hand and you end up running out of day and then you sit there in the evening handwriting it all, or twiddling with it on the laptop until you're really happy with it. Whereas it takes moments for that to happen and you can twiddle much faster.
Yeah. Yeah, it's all in the twiddling. It's all in the magic.
That's make it so personal to what we're doing. And I love that, when I'm working with my clients, I don't want all the scripts to be samey. I don't want all the inductions and the deepeners to be the same. I want them to be reflective of their needs at the time. So sometimes now I'll use different inductions and deepeners every time because they're getting better results. Whereas, I wasn't confident with that after the training. So I was just using the same induction and deepener that I'd been trained with. But as this has come into my world, I have just got so much more adventurous with how I'm supporting the client, but all of my sessions are better.
Cool. Oh, that's good to hear. That's great feedback. Okay, I'm gonna have to shoot off because I've got another call. All right, loves.
See you
Take
later.
care. You can, if you've got any
Thank you.
questions, just drop it into the group.
Thank you.
Okay.
Take care.
Bye.
Bye.
Hi, Wendy.
Hey, how are you?
I'm very well, thanks. And yourself?
You good?
Good, good. It looks
Hi.
nice. Summer there by you?
It's perfect temperature today. It's 31, but it's not too
Ooh.
hot. Normally it's like unbearable when it's 31, but actually, oh shit, I need to turn the water off. It's been watering the garden for the last hour. I didn't realize. Yeah, no, it's okay. How hot is it with you?
It is now 2 o'clock in the afternoon and it is around 32 degrees.
Well, just a bit hot. Is it really hot?
Yeah, the humidity is crazy. It's just a bit
Yeah.
much.
Yeah. Yeah.
We're moving into summer now, so we're coming from winter. So the transition is just happening too fast. We were still enjoying winter, but
Is it going to get sticky, is it?
it's sticky. It feels like your skin is melting off your face. It's so hot. It's very hot.
Whoa.
Yeah, I know it's ridiculous. So aircon is your best friend, and
Yeah.
ice cube.
Yeah. I tend to try and actually work a lot outside just because it's I just love working outside. with the
Yeah, if you can, definitely, then why not?
yeah. So I see you have a circle group.
Yes,
Yeah.
yeah, so I've met Jamie online through a mutual friend who's in Australia, and she's actually a client of mine. Met him online, and then we had a conversation. And I think a few weeks after we met online, he said, no, he's coming to Dubai for an in-person
Oh
event.
yeah,
I was like,
yeah.
oh my gosh, I'm in. So that was last year, end of September, Octoberish. Fell in love with circles, just realized, you know what, this is something that I want to take somewhere.
Yeah.
And then November, I went back home for a whole month, spending time with my elderly parents. And when I came back, I said to him, okay, let's start. What's the waiting period? Blah, blah, blah. So I joined officially in January as a circle member and then a franchisee.
Oh, nice. So he's doing franchisees now, is he?
Yes, he's doing that. And it's from what I can see, there's a lot of movement happening with that.
Brilliant. Oh, good.
Yeah.
Good. That's good. Yes, there's quite a few circles now.
Yes, over 80 events per month. I think it's like almost over 90 now.
Wow.
It's crazy.
That is
It's
crazy. That's a lot.
And yourself?
Myself, no,
How
I
long
don't want one.
But you are part of circles.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
For the last 6 months, I generally tend to do one event a day. I try and avoid Fridays because I'm normally knackered by Friday.
Yeah, it takes a lot, any event to network every
Yeah.
single day.
Yeah. I tend to do one a day. Sometimes two a day, depending what I've got on and whose group it is. But yeah, no, I love Circle. Got so many clients from Circle. It's just crazy.
Oh, that's fabulous. That's
Yeah.
awesome. So
Yeah, no, I've
talking
been
about
really lucky.
clients, I've had I had you in the Zoom room once before, so I just want to like fully understand what you do with AI and the services that you offer and see how I can help you. That's the main focus for me today.
Yeah, okay, cool. So I do something called AI Agents, which is so as one person business owners, we have a lot of skill gaps in the business. So I was I've been looking at scaling the business and I've been thinking, oh my God, I'm going to have to hire someone to work with, but I don't really want I don't want to, I've got a spare 10K to pay them, which is normally the going rate for someone to help you to scale. And also, uh, for me, there's a risk because I've worked with coaches in the past and they haven't been very good. And then I've just lost, you lose a ton of money and don't get any results for it. And it's really disappointing. So I thought, oh my God, how am I going to do this without doing that? So that's just not something I really want to do. So I thought, actually, why don't I just create myself an agent and give it the job description around a consultant that would help you scale, give it some training data in the background. So I created the agent, and now I've replaced hiring that person who I would have invested £10,000 with, probably more, to actually using the agent to fulfill that task. So we've got 45 agents. And it's funny, I hadn't realized until the other weekend that actually what I'd created, because I've created so many of them, I just don't think anything about it. Because I create them for the clients, and I'm just like, yeah, okay. But after creating this one, I suddenly thought, oh my God, this is like crazy. This is crazy. So we've got 45 agents together, and they are a combination of what I call founder agents, which are business coach, CEO, marketing manager, now scaling. And they're agents that you have high level conversations with in the business. So you use them as a sounding board, and they've got expertise in that particular topic. So that it's like a member of staff, but not. It's got more depth and breadth and knowledge, and you can pull from it much more quickly without the overheads.
Yes, that makes it a lot easier, and the feedback is faster. Turnaround
yeah,
is quick.
Yeah, faster. It's just I find it more in tune with what I want to do. you know, in terms of my thought process, in terms of where I'm going. So we have the
Yes.
founder agents, which are big picture, and then we have loads of task agents, which do specific jobs. So, you know, write your social media, do your newsletter, create client personas, write an assessment with a follow-up sequence. So there's so many of them, I can't actually remember what they all do.
Yeah, I can imagine there's
Yeah,
quite a bit.
it's quite a lot. So I sell that as a 6-month accelerator. So people get access to the agents for 6 months. So it's not like an online membership, because
Okay.
memberships are too much hard work. People drop out, they don't commit, you know, they stop paying, blah, blah, blah. People have to commit for 6 months, and I treat it more like an accelerator than I do, you know, a membership. Although it's
Makes
the same,
sense.
it's the same thing. I've bought them in differently,
Yes.
because
Okay.
I'm not interested in doing things monthly. Yeah, so that's going really well. Yeah, that's it
Okay.
really.
So what does the 6-month accelerator entails, and then is the cost vary, or is it the same cost for everyone?
No, there's a sliding scale. So it's £440 UK for the 35 task agents. So that's your social media, you know, they fulfill a specific task. And then it's 888 for the founder agents and the smart agents. So all of the agents. So that's 888. And then it's 1,500 for the same, apart from I create you 2 agents, 2 of your own agents that you can use. And then there's 2,222, which is we work together and we create you 7 agents that you can use and implement into the business. So identify, create, and implement.
Okay. And in terms of clients that you work with, which clients don't you like to work with, or are you happy with any industry?
No, I don't work with any industry. I predominantly work with coaches, consultants, and therapists. And I'm just about to start marketing to solicitors and to accountants.
Okay.
Because the coaching and the therapists, I've got that nailed.
Yes.
I've got that nailed. I'm just running a program at the moment, and I've got 75% conversion into the membership. So that's sorted. So I just need to think about solicitors and accountants, because they'll work differently to how I've got that model.
Yes.
Yeah, because for them it will be about upskilling, not automation. I don't do automation.
Yeah, I like that. Sorry, I'm just making notes.
Yeah, no, that's all right. Yeah, so it's very different. I haven't seen anything else. I haven't seen anyone else working this way. People are doing agents in terms of automation, but this is different because it's more about strategy, and it's more about conversation.
Yes, and that is completely different to automation. So
Yeah, anyone can do automation. I'm like, we can keep. I mean, I've got them, but that's not where I see the biggest shift. That's not where I see it really playing its role. It's part of it, but it's not my thing.
Yes. Okay. So how is it that I can help you? Do you want me to look at introducing you to accountants? Because I mean, you say your focus, you've got your stuff for coaching and therapists under the accountants.
Very small solicitor firms, probably accountants. Maybe you don't really get one person solicitors. No, I've never met. They've always been part of a practice. They've always been part of a business.
They've always been part of something. Yeah.
Yeah, I've never met, not that I'm aware of it. No. HR people do it independently. Actually, they could be good as well. Accountants, yeah, accountants. What about you?
Okay.
Tell me about you.
Before we go to me, I just want to find out how can I then start a proper conversation with the accountant to
Right.
make sure that they're a good fit.
Okay. So it is an accountant that really feels like they're being left behind because they haven't yet integrated AI into the business. So they're quite aware that it's something that they can use, but they just haven't done anything because they don't know where to start. So they might say something like, what would they say? They're just doing everything. You know, they're struggling with time.
Okay.
They're just wearing too many hats, struggling with time, aren't able to grow the business because they've just got too much to do.
Okay. And you obviously have success rates and testimonials and stuff like that from your previous clients, I'm sure.
Oh yeah. I mean, I think I've got 140 on LinkedIn.
Nice.
Yeah,
that's the thing.
I'm a testimonial freak. I'm a testimonial. I get them for everything. If I speak at several.
Oh God, I'm so glad to hear that. I'm the same. I'm the same. Doesn't matter how tiny, whatever I did, you write something about that.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. I'm like, yeah, actually that reminds me, I need to follow up with Jamie. He hasn't done me one. Yeah, I'm like straight there. Spoke at that event testimonial. Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, good. I will start conversations with some of the accountants I know, and then see if I can connect you and
going to be doing
see where the conversation goes.
Yeah, I'm going to be doing a webinar. That might be an easier way. Or there's an assessment that I've created. I could create it specifically for accountants. So yeah, there's easier ways rather than, you know, trying to get someone to talk to someone, because you know what people like. They're like, they don't
if you can
really want to talk to someone.
Yeah, and I think it's a nice idea to have AI for accountants webinar kind of thing, because then I can just say, listen, this is the place I know you need to be. It's going to up level your business. That's a good idea. Yeah,
I'm going to do that in the next couple of weeks. I was meant to do it this week, but I ran out of headspace to do it, so I'm gonna write it today, and then get it out for in a couple of weeks' time. And that's the beautiful thing about ChatGPT, is that now you've got deep research, because I don't know anything about accountants or solicitors. I've got no idea what they're struggling with.
Yeah,
none whatsoever. So I've just done some deep research on ChatGPT, and it's given me a whole list of things. So I just need to fit my services around what it says the problems are.
Exactly.
Which is really cool.
Exactly. Okay, well, when you have the dates and stuff for the webinar, please do share it with me.
Cool.
Because I think that's an easier in for people to come and
for
see,
sure.
Because AI in accounting, it's like no one ever thought of it. And this is now something that you can definitely help them with. I like that.
Yeah. And it's simple solutions that we want. It's not the automation, it's the simple customer communication stuff.
Yeah. It's almost going back to basics, but people forgot how to do that.
It is. It really is. It's because we ran out of time, didn't we? We just ran out of time, I think. Now you can just pop it in there and it'll write you something. I mean, I've sent about 20 emails this morning, and I've just popped each one in ChatGPT. I want to say this. It writes it, and then I just send it.
Exactly.
It would have taken me all day if I had to do it the old way. Because I'm dyslexic, so I would have just really struggled. In fact, I probably wouldn't have even done it, to be fair.
It definitely simplifies life, that's for sure. That's for sure.
So tell me about you. Tell me all about you.
So
whatever you want to tell me anyway, maybe not all of it.
I was about to say, like, all of it. Are you sure, Wendy? Originally from South Africa, been in Dubai for 2 years, a wife, a mom, and as I mentioned, been in SA for my parents. My dad's 87 this year, my mom's 84.
Wow.
So it's for me it feels like borrowed time. So I'm trying to really save up money to go there again end of April and visit again. But Jelani Sales really started as a sideline business in 2018. And I realized, because I was still working for corporate, I went to the CEO and I said to him, listen, I'm stealing from you. And his first reaction was like, oh my God, what? No one ever comes forward to saying that. And then I said, no, listen, I'm stealing time. I'm not working full time for you. You're paying me an 8-hour job per day. I'm not doing it. I'm probably maybe only doing 2 to 3. So I want to start my own business. So long story short, 4 hours later, he said to me, you don't have to resign, but you can start your business and be a freelancer for the company.
Cool.
So I was like, oh my gosh, this is amazing. So in 2019, the business launched, and in 2020, it was my full-time business. Because I was testing the waters in 2019, not sure, starting your own thing is always risky. Yeah, so 2020, it kicked off. It was my best year since. And when I started Jelani Sales in South Africa, it was a very virtual assistant orientated business, trying to do everything you can, from admin to presentations to social media, to just grab every service you can in business. So when I got to Dubai, I had to really relaunch the business completely, because virtual assistant doesn't really have a good name within the UAE. And with that, I realized, okay, so with my over 2 decades of sales experience, I'm going to focus only on being a sales mentor and accountability partner for business owners. And what that really means is helping them with any sales strategies and any sales struggles that they might have, and guide them through that, helping them to make sure that they have a better structure in place, that they understand the lead generation process, understand what follow-ups really mean, and closing deals without feeling pushy. Because a lot of people, as soon as you talk about sales, they're like, oh my God, no, eject, I can't do this because I'm going to sound pushy. And it's not that case. I've got a lot of guidance and ways to ensure that you don't come across as pushy, certain habits that you do every day to help you with that process. So in general, that's really what my focus is to connect with business coaches and startups who are stuck in the way of how they're doing their sales. I've got one-to-one mentorship sessions. I also do groups. But I prefer the no more than 10 people in a group for a company. And then I have Snap, my sales online self-paced course that is starting to make waves now again. I did that in 2023. It took me 9-10 months to put that together, because I did all the copywriting and everything else. So it was, and I didn't really know AI, so I wish I did, because ChatGPT would have been the best thing. So it was a bit difficult. But yeah, so I launched that baby, and it seems to now be making waves and getting traction again. So yeah, that's me in a nutshell in terms of what services and stuff I do.
So is it a specific type of sales? Is it high level sales? How would you class it?
It's really that's a good question. So a typical process is I will kind of have a conversation with you, understand your sales struggles, because I don't have a cookie cruncher. Not one of my mentor sessions are the same. Programs, they're completely different, because your problems and struggles are completely different to, for example, Chris. So I'll come to you, identify what your struggles are and what you want to achieve. And based on that, I then put together a 4 to 6 month program on how we're going to work together, what you can expect, and how we're going to get to the result that you're looking for. And some people struggle with social media, not understanding what to do with social media. Okay, then I help you through that, understanding your followers, because a lot of people will say, and this is one of my clients, well, I'm on social media, but nothing's happening. And then we go through the strategy of their social media, and that's where I come in with the guidance and the necessary actions to take to complement their existing efforts.
Right.
So I'm not teaching you sales. I'm not teaching sales. I'm taking your existing stuff and just amplify it so that it works better.
So what sort of results do clients see then?
They're more satisfied in their own sales process. They're more confident in talking about themselves and their services and offerings. They're more in control. They understand the importance of follow-ups. One of my clients, he's a business coach. He did the follow-up processes that I put in place for him. And after his follow-up process in, I think, a week's time, he managed to sign up 2
nice.
clients.
Yeah, nice.
So, you know, those are the results that's just in the simple basic stuff, again, is just follow up.
Yeah, follow up.
You know, it's that. And this is one of the things I love about Jamie's accelerator course, is because he talks about checking in with your clients. The how do you do calls? What's it? Yeah, how do you do calls? And that's exactly what the follow-up is don't, I always say to my clients, don't do the follow-up expecting that client to be a client.
Mm.
Do the follow-up intentionally, only focusing on their needs.
Yeah.
And once you do that, because people hear that over the phone, people can hear a smile over the phone.
Yeah.
So they can really hear that you invested in them, they automatically will turn the conversation to say, listen, Janine, I was thinking, can you help me with A, B, and C? And this is exactly what happened to me last week. I checked in with an old client. He had the 6-month period with me, and then he was so well on his own. And I checked in with him, had a conversation, and my call was to talk about his daughter that left for university, and how's him and his wife coping, and how's the business doing. And the conversation just went, and he signed another 4 months.
Nice.
And that, you know, it was just a nice check-in. So those are the kind of stuff that I do with my clients. It's not coaching themselves at all.
Yeah. What sort of things would they be saying? What sort of things do I need to look out for?
So I don't get leads. I have conversations, but nothing happens. I'm struggling with conversions. Someone actually had a good one last week, and I can't remember. I meet people, but nothing happens.
Right. People that just, I mean, it was the same for me. I had to learn how to sell, but people just don't learn how to, we just don't not naturally learn to sell, do we?
No, that's true.
We do everything else, but we don't learn to sell.
Yeah. And it's like anything, is the more you're going to do it, the more you're going to feel comfortable in it. And it's a skill that's going to evolve all the time. As much as AI is evolving, so will that as well.
Yeah. It amazes me how many people don't follow up from Circle. It's like, I mean, I haven't done it for the last 2 weeks because I've been too busy. But very, very, very few people will follow up.
And make
money. I think you probably me, Helen. I don't know anyone else who follows up actually.
It's really actually sad if you think about it, because we always complain that we don't have business or no one hears us and sees us, but we don't do anything about it.
No.
It's all in the action. We can't just sit. We have to do constantly things to remind people of
calls. You have to have calls with people.
Yeah. I mean, it's I mean, I met Eva last year. We've had so many coffees, and last week we had the first time we had an in-depth coffee where the conversation was like 3 hours later.
Wow.
And now there's massive collaboration opportunities taking place just because of understanding and having a deeper conversation with one another. So I agree. You have to talk to people, because one meeting like this is not going to really solve it. We need to meet like at least once a month and have a conversation. You know, if you can, once every 2 weeks. But I mean, we don't get paid for meetings.
No. You're not going to believe this. Someone has just turned up like 3 hours early. I've just seen the name. It's from South Africa, interestingly enough. Not from South.
Wow.
But he's turned up 3 hours early. I'm like, what?
Oh, probably time mix up.
In my diary, he's booked for 12:30. UK time. What time is it? It's not even 10:30. Oh, no, it is 10:30.
Yeah, maybe it's just time zones.
Yeah. Time zones.
Oh my goodness.
Right,
Okay,
lovely.
so
Okay.
so I'm definitely going to reach out to people in terms of the accounting side, in terms of the webinar that you're going to be launching soon. And then I'm going to be at the webinar as well, if hopefully
Okay,
time
cool.
permits that.
Yeah.
Because
Cool.
the more I understand of what you can do for accountants,
Yeah.
the better I can
We'll soon find out. I've got no idea yet. If the truth be known. Sorry,
yeah, time will tell.
sorry to cut you off, lovely.
No, not a problem at all. It was awesome, lovely finally to meet you now
Yeah,
again on
you
Zoom.
too.
And then we'll chat soon.
See you.
Cheers.
Bye. Bye.
Bye.
Bye. Hello? Hello? Have you come up? Are you there? You've got no microphone.
Is that okay?
Oh, you're funny.
I'm here.
You're like 3
I'm
hours
here.
early. You're right.
Yes, and you?
Yeah, good. Good. I was just saying you're like 3 hours early, but that's all right.
Am I?
Yeah.
Oh,
You're keen,
are
Paul.
you?
You're keen.
Well, I'm keen to get my head around this whole AI thing. Yeah, obviously. Yeah, I didn't want to say too much the other day because obviously the other people was online, so I just
That's
thought,
all right.
let's have a
No,
chat
it's all good.
afterwards.
Let me just check something a second.
Yeah, no problem.
All right,
Go ahead.
my next call is at 11. So yeah, we're good. We are good.
Okay, no, that's fine.
Okay, cool. Yeah, that's right. So what questions have you got?
Well, basically, I've tried to absorb some of what you've been sort of putting forward during the webinars, which obviously has allowed me to get a bit more information out of ChatGPT, which, as you suggested, I've now gone for the paid for version.
Yeah.
My daughter also uses it as well in Cyprus. So.
Oh, cool. Does she
I
get
don't
into
know if I'll get.
university okay?
Yeah, the oldest one, she's fine. She's on a second year now.
Yeah.
The younger one, she's in Pretoria. She's just started now. So, yeah,
Okay.
still
Oh,
a
that's
long way
good.
to go.
Good.
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah.
And you've still
So,
got a roof. You still got a
I
roof.
have. Yes, I have. Yes. Yeah, we managed to find out what the problem was. So, yeah.
Oh God. Yeah,
Yeah.
not good. Yeah. All right then.
No.
AI.
Yeah. So, with my profession, I did send you an interesting article which appeared in one of the magazines which I subscribed to. And obviously a lot of the big players, which obviously I'm not,
Yeah.
have already started to use AI, and some have been using it for, they claim, several years. I'm not quite sure how true that is, but anyway. But what they've basically done is set up a database of obviously projects and the sort of tasks which they feel possibly have a repetitive nature, or where you've got a vast amount of data to basically pick up trends and other features in that data which would make their lives easier.
Yeah.
Now, I feel that obviously would be way beyond my
Yes, quite
comprehension.
big.
Yeah. at this stage. So I'm looking for a more easier or level of entry.
Yeah.
Where I can still use it in my business, whilst obviously one, as you rightly say, on most of your webinars, it's there to provide a means of reducing your time input into tasks, which obviously then frees you up to do other things and obviously earn more money that way.
Yeah.
Or there is the other route, which is to try and use AI to actively generate income. So those are the two sort of aspects which I've looked at. I've also sort of dabbled a bit with, at the moment, I don't know whether I mentioned before, but I'm trying to sort out my financial future going forwards with obviously having the expenses of kids and at the same time trying to leave them, money in the pot for pensions and all that sort of stuff. So I'd sort of interrogated ChatGPT over the weekend in terms of trying to get it to give me some sort of probabilities of, success rates in investing in different asset classes, and obviously with a target income and a target pot of money to be left after I've expended all this lot on bloody getting kids through education and one thing and another. But
yeah, that's a life, Paul. That's why I didn't have any.
Yeah, it's a bit too late for me now
Yeah,
to share that same opinion, but anyway. Yeah, but it gave me some really interesting answers, and as you've rightly indicated, you've got to keep interrogating it and telling it if it's wrong.
Yeah.
You tell it it's wrong, and sort of to say, go back and relook at this, or you add more information to try and get a better answer out of it. But it produced quite a good overview. So when you do speak to, say, a financial advisor or whatever, it gives you already the framework to start the conversation and not be completely dominated by their sort of viewpoint.
Yeah, that makes sense. So what are you thinking then? Are you thinking that it's something that you can use, that you can do consultation around in businesses?
Yeah. I mean, my sort of business is obviously engineering, so it is predominantly trying to apply my skills to a new building or to an existing building where the existing heating, air conditioning and ventilation systems are due for replacement, or whether I feel they could be retrofitted to obviously try and reduce the cost, but improving the system efficiency to meet obviously the new sort of sustainability requirements, which you see obviously plastered all over the internet under the banner of green and everything else,
Are there things that you are doing on repeat that you do repeat with clients, or is it?
I would say it's more, whilst there is obviously some generic aspects to it, each project is really bespoke. It has its own, quirkiness and obviously conditions which may not necessarily apply to another job, such as limited funds or facilities managers that are still a bit doubtful on your ability, or, the fact that you are remote, they tend to sort of not want to get too engaged with you, although they do appreciate your experience, which is, the difficulty you have trying to run a business in the UK remotely.
Oh yeah.
Is trying to get that confidence across to them. And whilst I can provide people on the ground there who are capable of providing a service on behalf of myself, there's still this sort of mindset of being not responsive to my sort of service,
Right.
and rather offer it to somebody there on the ground. So I don't know whether AI can overcome some of that
It
problem or not.
So to do that, what you would need to do, so in my membership, I have a customer service. One of the agents is like a customer service agent. So what I've done is I've set up in the background, I've trained it around all the different agents that I've got. So that means that my clients don't come to me and go, Wendy, what's the best agent to do this? They just pop the question into the agent and then it answers it, taking it from the database of information that I've trained it with.
Yeah.
So I don't know if you can think about different aspects of your business. So you can't put too much into one agent. It's like you have to have a sales, just pulling it out of thin air. You have to have a sales agent. You have to have a marketing manager. Each agent would have a speciality, because otherwise they're not as good. So I don't know if you can have like your own team of agents that you come with that they can access, that would be maybe unique to each project.
Yeah.
Because then what you can give them access to them, and then they don't necessarily need to come back to you. If they've got something really complicated, they can come back to you, but it's like a cost-effective workaround. Or the other thing is, if their staff have skill gaps, you could have agents that would help them to fill those skill gaps.
Okay.
So an example would be, so for me, I want to scale the business, but I don't want to spend 10K working with somebody because I don't have that amount of cash. And finding someone to actually do a good job is quite hard. Someone you can trust who's really going to get you results. So I created an agent to fulfill that role.
Okay.
So I trained it on different methodologies of how to scale a one-person business, and now I'm using that to help me to scale the business. So I'm not working with someone, but it's like a skill gap that is in my business, and I've just plugged it by creating an agent that I can use to help me scale.
Yeah.
So there's also that as well, which is a bit different.
Okay.
I saw something this morning. Let me just have a quick look. I can't remember. I don't know if this fits in with it, but it's something, because I read it and I thought, oh, that's interesting for me. So I don't see why it can't apply across different. So let me just look at this thing. Oh yeah. He's calling himself an AI performance specialist. And he says someone who could eliminate I can't say it. I can't say it. Inefficiencies, automate workflows and boost productivity. I don't know whether any of what you do fits into that. It might not.
Yeah,
I just thought that's interesting.
The inefficiencies, other than applying to your own productivity, would be inefficiencies in the existing air conditioning system,
Right.
as an example,
Yeah.
and how you would go about improving those inefficiencies to meet the sort of current energy benchmark standards.
So could AI be used to do that quicker?
I don't see why not. It's just, you know, you mentioned earlier on about, you know, you creating your own databases, and even these companies in that article I mentioned earlier are also collating their own databases. So, I mean, if you were to take on one of these agents, would you then feed into that agent the databases, or let that scour the internet?
You'd have to, yeah, you'd have to do it with your own trusted data, because
Okay.
the problem with the internet is it's just dodgy.
Yeah.
You know, it can't distinguish between what's a good report and what's a bad report unless you train it to do that. And even then, I wouldn't trust it. So you would need to train it with your own. For it to be good, it would need to be what you deem to be credible and trustworthy.
Yeah.
Yeah, because otherwise, I think you'd run into. You want your stuff to be credible, so you have to put whatever is in it credible.
I mean, if you uploaded documents in PDF, would it be able to read those documents or not?
Yeah.
It would.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
So in the back end of creating a in ChatGPT, you can only upload 20 documents. So what you have to do is, I mean, it's a bit tedious. So I think of it like a book, 20 documents that is basically a book. You've got your beginning and you've got your middle and you've got your end, and you've got all your different categories, subcategories, and then you put everything that is relevant in each document. You've got a process, you've got a step-by-step process. And then I do two things. I upload it manually. So I copy and paste it in.
Yeah.
I do that a document at a time.
Yeah.
Then you just rinse and repeat that process. And then when you're almost at the end, you can just say something like, on a scale of 1 to 10, how good is this agent? And it'll give you a score. And then you just follow the process in terms of how you make it better. I mean, there is more to it than that, but that's ultimately how you give it the training data.
Yeah. And are there any copyright issues or anything like that if you're uploading documents which have got any copyright or something?
I mean, you've got to be careful in terms of what you're uploading. I mean, what you can do, because you wouldn't tell anyone, you can upload all the documents, and then input in the prompt. You can basically, you don't want it to. It depends what you're doing. I think as long as you evidence the source, you ask for the source, where has it come from, which report, who wrote it, what year was it? The same as you would if you were doing an essay. You have all of that relevant information. It's given you that. Then I think you're actually okay, because you are. I mean, don't take my word for it. Ask ChatGPT what it thinks. Because I'm not up on the legal stuff, but I created an agent for somebody a while ago, and so she works in a school, and she has a lot of health and safety policies in the back of it.
Yeah.
So she's got a lot of documents in it, but she would source that anyway. So she would get it from the PDF and she would source it from the document anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think as long as you do that, you're okay. But I would check it. Just ask ChatGPT, this is what I'm thinking of doing. Is this okay?
Yeah.
And if it says no, just ask it, okay, how can I do this to cover myself? And it'll tell you how to do it. But I always say, don't upload anything that you just think shouldn't be uploaded. But a lot of my clients, they deal with, personal issues. So you know, they're
Yeah.
going on about client data, whereas, yeah, it doesn't sound like
Yeah,
it's quite.
it's based on what you sort of put across the other day. I obviously clicked onto the top right-hand corner where your initials are.
Yeah,
And obviously, you get the drop down there, and
Yeah.
then my GP,
yeah,
and then I created basically an agent for, or heading, I'm not quite sure how to refer to it, for the finance, and created my own sort of meme thing at the top, logo. So that's how I started that one. So I would be doing the same thing for this.
Yeah.
Yeah,
yeah, just,
because as you know,
Just-
that comes up with already questions, doesn't it?
yeah,
When you create that.
yeah. Think job description, think.
Yeah.
So whenever you train one, always think, what's the job description? What person would be, what type of person would be doing that job?
Yeah.
And then you want to use that to set the scene. You know, this is what they specialize in. This is, I can't even remember how a job description goes, but you know, this is their role, this is their key skills. So you can get really specific, so basically it understands what persona it's taken on board, and it's amazing how much of a difference that makes.
Okay.
So thinking about the role, and then how that person, you would expect that person to manage the role. You know, what are they going to do with that data? You know, what is it? What type of report are they going to produce? You know, what is it that you actually want it? What is it that you want it to do?
Yeah.
And then you say that's the type of output you want.
Yeah. I assume you could even upload photographs as well. Is it images and everything too?
Yeah, I think you can. I don't know how good it is. I think it's getting better. Yeah, you would have to really test it. You'd have to really test and see how good it is. 4.5 has just come out, so I would try 4.5 and see. See how accurate it is. I don't know how accurate it is.
Where will I find what version
So
I'm on?
4.5, if you do a new search at the top, you get a drop-down menu and it says 4.0. Let me
a
put
new
you
chat. Yeah, it's 4.0. Yeah.
Yeah. So you got
Yeah, I've got 4.0. I don't see any. Oh yes, 4.5 here.
Got it? Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'll click on that.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's fine. I'm on there now. Yeah.
And it writes beautifully. It writes much better. But you're limited in how many times you can use it.
Oh.
So what I'm not sure
the
what
plus, is it?
Yeah. I'm not sure what the limit is and how long it will stop you from using it, but if it stops you from using it, it will just put you down to the next tier. So it's okay. But just think about using 4.5 when you want something nicely written, because it writes really good.
Okay. Okay.
Right.
That's good to
Let's book another time to have a chat, just because I've got another call in 5 minutes.
Yeah, no problem.
I've got to have a tinkle.
Yeah.
But yeah. It might be worth, I don't know whether you can, actually trying to speak to some people about how they're using AI in the business, because that might in your industry, because it might give you some ideas as to what's possible for you, for your business, and how you can use it. Or even ask ChatGPT, you know, this is who I am, this is what I do, this is about the business. I'm exploring creating agents. What is it that I could create to help businesses in my field? Something like that.
Okay.
Then it will give you a potential list. And then if they're no good, just adapt to say, these are no good. This is what I'm thinking. Or, yeah, I like that one. Let's explore this one more. And then it's going to give you, more choices.
Yeah.
It might come up with where you come up with something where you think, oh, cool.
Yeah. Okay, Wendy. I'll let you go for a tinkle.
Yeah.
And
Thank you.
maybe catch up later on. I hope you don't mind this sort of
No, of course, fine. No, it's fine. It's just because I would stay on longer. I've just got another call, that's all.
No, you've got a business to run, Wendy, so I fully appreciate that, and thank you.
Yeah, no, that's okay. You're more than welcome. But book another time in.
Yeah, I will do.
Yeah. Take care,
Yeah.
Paul. Bye.
And you too,
Bye.
Wendy. Take
Bye.
care now. Bye.